Can you guys share with our viewers what you do for a living?
What do you do for a living? I'm Wes Watson. Everybody knows who I am.
Who? What's your name?
Wes Watson.
Wes Watson's story was once painted as the ultimate American redemption tale. A man who had survived prison riots, solitary confinement, and 10 years locked inside California's penitentiary system somehow emerged as a symbol of resilience. Through his channel GP Penitentiary Life, he told raw, unfiltered stories from behind the walls, dark, violent, and brutally honest accounts that hit millions like a punch to the gut. He wasn't polished, he wasn't fake, and that authenticity turned him into an overnight sensation. Soon, Wes wasn't just a YouTuber, he was an icon. With his sculpted physique, flashy Lamborghinis, and million-dollar penthouses as the backdrop, he crafted the image of a man who had taken pain and turned it into power. His voice carried the weight of someone who had lived through hell. And for thousands of lost men stuck in dead-end jobs, broken relationships, or addiction, Wes was proof that change was possible. They trusted him, they invested in him, and they believed he could lead them out of their own chaos. But what looked like a Hollywood comeback story was built on smoke and mirrors.
How can I get inside the house?
We'll talk to you now, bro.
How can I get inside the house for my
Our
dog?
detective is gonna talk to you, alright?
What is this
You wanna
for?
leave her? You wanna leave yourself with her?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Clinton, can you drive this car to my pad? What's this about?
It's an open case, man.
Oh, that fight thing?
It's an open case.
That's crazy. That guy came and assaulted me.
All right. All right.
You guys,
speak to a detective now, so he can explain.
are they gonna let me go?
Those Lamborghinis? Rented. That luxury penthouse? Just another prop for clout. And the $1,000 coaching packages he sold as the keys to transformation were little more than recycled meal plans and broken promises. The empire he built on resilience and discipline was in truth nothing more than a glossy facade hiding one scam after another. For a while, the illusion held, his fan base swelled, his influence grew, and his alpha male gospel became religion for those who followed him. But cracks began to show. Students who paid thousands for personal mentorship realized they weren't speaking to Wes at all. They were brushed off to staff, given generic plans, and then ignored when they asked for refunds. What hurt wasn't just the lost money, it was the betrayal of trust. For men who had clung to Wes as their lifeline, it felt like being shoved back into the abyss. Forums and social media exploded with rage. The hashtag Wes Watson scam spread like wildfire as victims posted receipts and screenshots. Creators like CoffeeZilla began digging deeper, exposing the truth about his rented lifestyle. That Bugatti he flaunted, a $60,000 a month lease. The San Diego penthouse, 80 grand a month in rent. His empire wasn't built on wealth and discipline, it was propped up by debt and lies. Instead of addressing the outrage, Wes doubled down. No apologies, no refunds, no accountability, just more flexing on Instagram, more aggressive preaching, more luxury posts that felt like a slap in the face to those who had believed in him. The silence only fueled the fire. Subscriptions collapsed. Payment processors froze his accounts, and lawsuits began piling up. The image of Wes as the untouchable alpha was crumbling before the world's eyes. But the real breaking point came not online, but in real life. On December 29th, 2024, at Alvadian Fitness in Miami, a gym Wes co-owned, everything shattered. After mocking a man named Hakeem Ibrahim online and daring him to show up, Wes got exactly what he asked for. But what happened wasn't a fair fight. Surveillance footage revealed Wes and his crew ambushing Ibrahim the moment he walked in. Belts, weights, fists, it was a coordinated beatdown. And in the chaos, Wes hurled racial slurs that made the attack even uglier. The footage went viral instantly. 13 million views in a single day. Hashtags like Justice for Hakeem trended worldwide. To the internet, Wes wasn't a redemption story anymore. He was a racist thug hiding behind muscles and bravado. Wes tried to spin it. He claimed self-defense, telling police that fame made him a target. But the footage told another story, and Ibrahim's battered face was undeniable proof. Body cam recordings of Wes whining about his height, bragging about his fame, and threatening to kill Ibrahim only added to the outrage. The so-called alpha male who preached discipline and control was caught on camera unraveling like a desperate man. In February 2025, the empire of Wes Watson finally began to collapse. The man who once stood before millions as living proof of redemption, the former convict turned self-proclaimed mentor, was arrested and slapped with charges of felony battery and aggravated assault. Prosecutors wasted no time. They dug through his violent history like vultures circling a corpse, using every past outburst, every documented rage, to paint him as a man who had never truly changed. They weren't pushing for mercy. They were pushing for decades, up to 25 long years that could bury him inside the very system he had sworn he had escaped forever. The news spread like wildfire. His YouTube channel, once a booming empire of iron discipline and raw motivation, turned into a battlefield of backlash. Videos that once drew admiration and loyalty were suddenly drowned in waves of dislikes. His comment section, once filled with worship from followers who called him a savior, became a graveyard of betrayal, disappointment, and anger. His fan base, The same people who once clung to his every word evaporated almost overnight. And just like that, the man who branded himself as proof that even the darkest souls could change was being dragged back to the very prison walls he had built his identity upon. But here's the haunting truth. Wes couldn't stop spiraling, even with the weight of years in prison hanging over him. Instead of showing restraint, instead of proving his doubters wrong, he poured gasoline on the fire of his downfall. September 2025 became the breaking point. Miami, a live stream. A night out with influencer Jack Doherty that should have been harmless content. But for Wes Watson, it turned into another viral disaster that would etch his name in internet infamy. The cameras were rolling when a young man approached their table. Harmless curiosity, maybe even admiration, but Wes saw red. He snapped in an instant, barking orders at his crew like a general calling for war. Hit him! That's all it took to ignite chaos. The situation spiraled out of control, voices rose, tempers exploded, and in the middle of a crowded restaurant, one of Wes's own friends escalated it further, pulling out a knife as the live stream captured every second. But the most shocking part wasn't the chaos. It wasn't the weapon. It was Wes. He sat there calmly, chewing his food, unfazed. Not a flicker of control, not a shred of leadership, just cold indifference while the world watched in disbelief. Within hours, the clip was everywhere. The internet doesn't forgive, it doesn't wait. It doesn't give second chances. Wes Watson meltdown shot to the top of trending lists, not as a badge of power, but as a digital scarlet letter. The man who once preached control had become a punchline, a meme, a joke. And what people saw in that viral moment was devastating. They didn't see the alpha male he marketed himself as. They didn't see discipline. They didn't see the redemption story he had sold for years. Instead, they saw the truth, a man consumed by ego, incapable of growth, a man whose empire had collapsed under the weight of his own lies. The tragedy of Wes Watson isn't that he fell, it's how far he fell, from a convict who clawed his way out of riots, solitary confinement, and despair, to a mentor who inspired millions worldwide with raw lessons of survival and self-control. For years, he represented the possibility that anyone, even the broken, the damned, could turn it all around. But now he stands exposed as a fraud, a pariah, a cautionary tale. His redemption arc has been rewritten into a story of self-destruction. The courtroom may decide how many years Wes spends behind bars this time, but his true sentence has already been delivered in the court of public opinion. His empire is gone, his influence shattered, his legacy burned. And that leaves us with one final unsettling question. Not whether Wes Watson can make a comeback, because the verdict of the world seems already written. The real question is far more universal. Can people ever truly change, or do they simply learn to wear better masks? Was the man millions admired, the symbol of discipline, redemption, and control, ever genuine? Or was it all just a performance, a disguise covering the same darkness that once defined him? In the end, the mask slipped. The truth was caught in plain sight, and what we're left with is not just the fall of Wes Watson, but a reminder that redemption stories are fragile. They can end the same way they began, in chains, in chaos, and in the shadows where the past waits, ready to return. So drop your thoughts on comment section, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more future updates.